Hello, Cruising World, Mick the Suit Guy. It's Monday. Monday is Tips Day. And I have some tips from some special guests this week. I have some from Stephen, and I have, looks like, one from Dawn. So let's get to them. If you've not watched this before, be aware, I have not read these yet. We are going to read them and react as we go. And hopefully there's enough here. It looks like there's maybe 4, because I can see 1, 2, 3 next to Stephen's. And I haven't got any myself, so if they're not very long, I'll have to make one up. Or just recycle an old one to fill out the time, whatever. So let's see what we got here. Let's start with Stephen's, and then we'll do Dawn's, and then hopefully that'll be it for the week. All right, to Stephen. Hi, Mick. I thought I would provide a few travel tips specific to Central Florida, if that's all right. Primarily because Stephen lives in Central Florida, so I would imagine that's why he's sending them. So that's why I'm holding Dawn's in back. So if Central Florida doesn't apply to you, Dawn's might. So hang in there. Hang in there. All right, number 1. Cruising out of Port Canaveral may sometimes be advertised as cruising out of Orlando on some websites. Orlando is not on the coast and is a good 45 minutes to an hour depending on traffic from Orlando International Airport to Port Canaveral. Please plan accordingly with your travel to and from the port. Perfectly good. But Carnival and other cruise lines do this all over the place. They'll say you are cruising from London when you are cruising from Southampton or Dover. And they are a lot further than 45 minutes away. They'll say you are cruising out of Berlin. And you are not cruising out of Berlin. Berlin is not on the water. You're cruising from some weird German name place, I forget what it is, which is a couple of hours from Berlin. They'll say, well, Galveston, but you got to understand Galveston's a little bit different because it's basically you fly into Houston and then drive to Galveston. So you always have to look at how you're going to get there. Now, when you are going into Port Canaveral, I just put a video out on parking options in Port Canaveral, by the way. So look up recently, just a couple of weeks ago or a few weeks ago, I put one out. So you'll see that. But you have basically 2 choices. You can either go to Orlando, stay in Orlando, and then get transportation in the morning of the cruise. There's Carnival shuttles and all that good stuff. Or you can get an Uber or something when you land out, or, you know, a shuttle or whatever, out to Port Canaveral, also Cocoa Beach area. It's basically the same thing. And go and do that. Personally, I would recommend going to Cocoa Beach. I think it's a different place. And you can go back to Orlando anytime. You really wouldn't want to go to Cocoa Beach unless it was for a couple of days before a cruise, because there's not a huge amount of things to do there. But there's some fun little boat tours you can do. You've got Cape Canaveral. You can go and see all that good space stuff if you're into all that. So yeah, plenty of things to do. But remember, Port Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, right next to each other and both very close to the port. Don't forget also, Melbourne Airport is not too far away. So you could fly into Melbourne as well, and it'll be cheaper if an airline goes there. It's not as big as Orlando, obviously, but you have that option too. But yeah, and another thing I noticed, and this is especially with Galveston, renting a car to go out there one way, it's not that easy. There's not that many places to drop off in Port Canaveral, Cocoa Beach area if you just wanted to get a car. Say you landed in the morning and you had a hotel or an Airbnb you couldn't check in till 4 in the afternoon, and you wanted to drive around for the day but leave the car there, make sure, because there's not that many spots. It's even worse in Galveston. There's like one Enterprise place that I know of in Galveston. Otherwise you're parking 25 miles away. You know, so just be aware of that. But yes, definite good tip on that one, to know that. And also, Orlando Airport is an absolute nightmare. So especially if you don't have TSA pre. If you don't have TSA pre or global entry, my recommendation would be to get it. There's my tip for this week. Get them. Global entry includes TSA pre. And if I'm correct, TSA pre is like $75 for 5 years. Global entry is $100 for 5 years. We got TSA pre, then we got global entry, so we had to pay twice. So why not just get global entry? Even if you don't think you're going to travel, for $25 more, you've covered yourself for international travel. And let me tell you, at airports like Orlando and coming back in from an international flight, having that pass to get through the lines is priceless. So I can't recommend that enough. Whew, that was number 1. Number 2. Orlando International Airport has 3 terminals, A, B, and C, where the gates are located, that attach to a main hub via automated people movers. Make sure you know which gate terminal you're supposed to fly out of before heading through security. You cannot get from A to B, B to A, etc. without going back to the main hub, which can cost you time if you choose wrong. I'm sure that applies to a lot of airports, but Vegas comes to mind for one. It's sort of not that easy. Vegas is probably fine. Yeah, actually, I can't think of any. But yes, but you should always check that whatever airport you're going into. One of the things I like to do, because when you have a connection, we fly Southwest domestically as much as possible. Bags fly free. You know, a lot of people like to complain about Southwest. I really don't have a problem with Southwest. If you check in early enough, I don't get the early bird. There's no point to me. And I always get a window or an aisle seat. I never sit in the middle. I just make sure I check in 24 hours before. But one thing I like to do is, if I got a connection, which is highly likely domestically going across country, whatever airline you're on, try and check the gate you're going to be leaving from on the second leg, right? So you know if it's a tight layover, where have I got to get to? But bear in mind that can change. So double check it when you land. But it's also always good to know. Always good to know. I wouldn't even want to know what would happen at Orlando if you were doing a connection and you flew into A and you had to fly out from B. I don't know what the international connection is. LAX is another really good example of that. You have to literally walk. We flew back from Australia to LAX, and then we got Southwest from LAX back to San Diego, to Tampa, sorry. And then we had to clear the customs and then get out and walk from the international terminal to Terminal 1. You know, that was the only way to do it, was walking. So yeah, it's allow time, know the airport layout. Very good tip, and allow time for that. And by the way, the way you would check the next gate is to get the app. So you can look at it on the app. Number 3, the last one. There is a new Brightline train between Orlando and Miami. If you are cruising out of either Port Canaveral or Port Miami and not in crunch time, you may consider looking at flights into both airports. Sometimes, even with the added cost of the train, you can still save money by flying into Miami and taking the train to Orlando, or vice versa. Now, I'm not going to disagree with Stephen. Kind of am, because that's like a 4 or 5 hour train ride, I think. It's at least 3. They're talking about adding that from Tampa. Now, I know from Tampa, where we are, you can get the train down to Miami, and it's over 5 hours. So I'm not sure how long the Brightline is, but I'd be shocked if it's less than 3 hours. Plus, they're not, I don't know how often they run, so you got to get the timing. So if it works, definitely check it as an option. And I'm not one to say bad tip. I don't do that. But I would maybe look at it, but it wouldn't be, I don't know. Maybe it would work. Maybe I'm talking nonsense. Somebody test it. Do a search. This is why sometimes I wish that I looked in advance on these and I could look that up and tell you, but I don't. I read them as I read them. And I react as I would react. Does that mean I'm right? Absolutely not. Just my opinion is that is still quite a long way. I know when this August, we are cruising out of Port Canaveral on a Sunday, 6-day cruise, get back in on Saturday, and then we are going to Miami to go on the Icon of the Seas for a 7-day cruise that same morning. So we literally are going to park our car, because we drive from Tampa. We're going to park our car at the port, right in the port area right there. So we get off the ship, straight in the car, straight down, and we looked, and that was a 3+ hour drive minimum from Port Canaveral to Miami. So the train's got to take a bit longer than that, I'm sure. I don't know. Maybe it's worth looking into. So 1 and 2, I agree with 100%. Number 3, let's just say I'm dubious, but I don't live there. I live in Tampa, other side of the state. Who am I to question somebody that lives there? Keep the great content coming and go Ipswich. Ipswich is my football team in England, not soccer, football. I will correct one last thing for Stephen. It's not go Ipswich. That's such an American sports term. In England, we don't say go Ipswich. We'll go, come on, you Blues. We'll do like little chants like that. But we won't say go Ipswich. It's not an English thing. Not an English thing at all. Yeah, so I'm going to give you 80%, 8 out of 10, Stephen. But the two, well, definitely not 10 out of 10 because go Ipswich, no, never accepting that. But number 3, not sure about. Prove me wrong. Put it in the comments, Stephen. Give me an example. I know Stephen will be watching this. In the comments, give me an example of train times on the Bright Line from Orlando, bearing in mind you've still got to get to the port. I mean, if it was me, and I've already commented it might be not the easiest thing to do, definitely easier from Port Canaveral to Miami, to rent a car one way would be my suggestion. But I don't know. All right, let's go to Dawn before Stephen attacks me. I'm not abusing you, Stephen. Your name's not Dave. Dawn, sent from iPhone to me. Did you know that when calling for your chocolate delight, this is a Carnival one, chocolate covered strawberries, there is an option to get 4 cookies instead, and each person gets 4 cookies. And you get to choose the kind you want, be it chocolate chip, macadamia nut, oatmeal raisin, or peanut butter. Not everyone likes chocolate covered strawberries, so this is a great option. That is a wonderful tip. Do you know something? I actually did not know that. I genuinely did not know that. That is a great, I might, because we don't usually get the strawberries because we don't really, you know, if you don't eat them straight away, they melt and they get chocolatey and you know, can get on your suit, your hands, all over the place. So we typically, we don't do that. All right, good. I'm going to start doing that. Did you know also that you can order these in advance to come to your cabin? So they could be waiting in there. What Dawn's talking about is if you're platinum or diamond, you get free chocolate covered strawberries in your room, but you have to call them in. So that's for, in case you're wondering, that's for those people. Those people only. But you can order them in advance to be put in your room. Also, if you have a travel agent and you want them, they can get them 20% discounted. So you can call your travel agent and say, I would like chocolate covered strawberries, cookies, all that sort of thing delivered to my room. Can you order it for me? Yes, we can. And we can save you 20%. If you want a bottle of liquor delivered to your room, if you're not getting the Cheers package, but you want a bottle of liquor, it's quite expensive. Again, I can get you 20, or travel agent, dropped it in there, didn't I? Travel agent can get you 20% off. All adds up, doesn't it? Bear that in mind. But yeah, that's interesting. I did not know that. Now, I don't like peanut butter. I'm like the anti-American, because I live here, love the country, but can't stand peanut butter. Don't understand this jelly and peanut, whatever they call them, sandwiches. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. I'm not gonna like salmon and cucumber or cheese and pickle, you know, whatever that rubbish is. I don't drink coffee. I can't stand the smell of cinnamon. Popcorn. Ugh. No popcorn. Ugh. Disgusting stuff. Yeah, so basically everything that is traditionally American, for whatever reason, I like it. Doesn't mean I hate America. Just hate all that stuff. Other things too, it's not just those. Not limited to them at all. Lots of things. Lots of things. Anyways, good tip, Dawn. Give Dawn a 10 out of 10. Give Stephen an 8 out of 10. But probably a 9. Because I'm probably completely wrong on number 3. But I'm definitely not wrong on Go Ipswich. Go Ipswich. It's like, you know, in England, we like to do chants at football matches. It's football, not soccer, right? And I don't care what anybody says. Soccer, it makes no sense. Whoever made that word up, how did they decide that was going to apply to a game where you kick a ball with your feet? Soccer. S-O-C-C-E-R. No. It's association football, so I guess the they could maybe they claim they got it out of that. But no, it's football. Now, here's the thing. When you're at a football game in England, you're singing chants, right? You've got 50 different chants at any given time that you can sing. I won't bore you with them. I could, but I won't. But there's loads. In America, you have one. It's called Let's Go Team with Two Syllables. Let's Go Team with Two Syllables. That's all you got. Go watching a football game in England and listen to the chants that come up. There's too many. They got chants for each player. They got our rivals are called. Well, I won't even say what the name is, but they're disgusting team. I've never been to a game where we didn't sing songs about how we hate them. Can't even say the name. All right, calm down. Tips are over. On to next week's. If you want me to read yours out and treat them with the respect they deserve, which I think I did pretty well, apart from number 3 on Stephen, I'm still not sure about. Send me yours. As you noticed, I don't read them in advance. And if I'm not sure the answer, I just ask other people to answer in the comments. Easy way out, right? Because am I right all the time, as I say all the time? No! I try to be. If you like that, please subscribe. Hit that little bell if you want notifications when these videos come out. And if you have any questions, please send me your questions. My email is coming up. And also to that email is where you would send your tips. If you have cruising traditions, what do you do every cruise? I say this 1,000 times now. These little inflatable ships up above me, we do a pub crawl every cruise and we get the bartenders to sign the ship, although I am running out. We are moving on to frisbees very soon. That's all I can think of. Oh dear, decisions. And with that, I will see you later, Cruising World. Email.com. I promise I'll reply as soon as possible. Want to book a cruise or any type of travel? We are travel agents. Check out our site, elitetravelconnection.com, or email me, Mick, at elitetravelconnection.com. We are here for you. Finally, subscribe, please. Pretty please. You know you want to. Go on. I won't beg you. Okay, I'm begging. Please. Subscribe. Thank you.